Footnote number 10 of the SICHAH points us to a Gemara in Baba Batra and Pesachim that makes the observation that Biganut behema tmeya lo diber hakatuv. Unless there was a need to do so, the Torah text does not use a derogatory expression even for a non-kosher animal, a behema tmeya. This observation harkens back to the instructions given to Noach just prior to the flood, that mikol ha-behema ha-tahora tikach lecha shiva ish v'ishto, that you are to take 7 pairs, male-female, from all animals that are tahora, in this context, animals that were later to become deemed as kosher, whereas min ha-behema shelo tahora hi shnayim ish v'ishto. Noach was to take just 2, male and female, from those animals that were treif. The word that is the contrast to tahora is tmeya, and that is the term the Torah theoretically should have used. Yet, as the Gemara in Pesachim points out, instead of the shorter version tmeya, Torah uses the less harsh term, an animal that was not kosher. And therefore argues the Rebbe in the SICHAH that when YITRO is described as the Kohen Midian, and given the fact that the narrative has nothing negative to say about YITRO, then we are forced to conclude that the inclusion of this descriptive Kohen Midian underscores the positive aspect of YITRO. Kohen in the secular sense, a leader, a head of government, and in the religious sense, the high priest of Midian. The positive aspects of YITRO is highlighted in a commentary from Rashi to Shmot 18:5, where the Chumash states, Vayavo Yitro choten Moshe ubanav v'ishto. YITRO, Moshe's wife and 2 sons, come to Moshe el Hamidbar asher hu choneh sham, to the desert in which he, Moshe, was camped. To which it might be argued that, given the fact that Bnei Yisrael were in a midbar, this entire phrase, El Hamidbar asher hu choneh sham, is superfluous. A point raised by Rashi when he asks rhetorically, Af anu yodim shebamidbar haya. The fact that the Bnei Yisrael were in the midbar had already been established previously, and therefore obviously if YITRO is joining the Bnei Yisrael, he would be joining them in the midbar. Rashi goes on to answer, Ella, but by including the words El Hamidbar asher hu choneh sham, bishvacho shel YITRO diber hakatuv. The pasuk speaks in praise of YITRO, in that shehaya yoshev bichvodo shel olam. He was living in a place of high honor in the world. He was a Kohen Midian. Unudava libo latzeit el hamidbar makom tohu. Yet his heart moved him to go out into the midbar, into a wilderness, a place of desolation, lishmoa divrei Torah, to hear the words of Torah. And this is the point that is hinted at with the inclusion of the descriptive that YITRO was the Kohen Midian, that he left the luxury, the high honor available to him in Midian to join a recently freed group of slaves in the wilderness. And in the same vein, the Rebbe argues, with respect to the second option for Kohen Midian, in its religious context, the inclusion of this descriptive would also be directed at underscoring the praise of YITRO. This comes to the fore a few pasukim further, whereby YITRO formally rejects the worship of pagan gods, Avodah Zarah, and proclaims, Ata yadati, now I know, Ki Gadol Hashem Mikol HaElohim, God is greater than all other gods, small g. A pasuk that we shall dwell upon shortly.